Good afternoon. My name is Catarina Albuquerque, and I am the UN Special Rapporteur on the rights to water and sanitation. I am very pleased to address you, to introduce you my handbook for realizing the rights to water and sanitation. Since the rights to water and sanitation were recognized by the UN General Assembly and by the UN Human Rights Council, there have been several stakeholders, from governments to water providers, regulators, NGOs, international regional organizations, that have came to talk with me and said, we agree that water and sanitation are human rights, but we simply don't know how to transform these generic, general and abstract norms into something more concrete. And this is when with my team we had the idea to develop a handbook giving guidance to the different stakeholders, of course mainly addressed at states, regulators, which are the ones that bear the human rights obligations. But as I was saying, a handbook clarifying the meaning of the rights to water and sanitation, explaining what the obligations are that arise from these human rights, provide guidance on implementing these rights, share some experiences, some good practices in implementing these rights, explore how states can be held to account for delivering on their obligations, and finally providing users with checklists so that they can assess how far they are complying with these rights. So as I said, the target audiences for this handbook are governments at all levels, donors, national regulatory bodies, but in my opinion, it will also be of help for all those that support governments in implementing the rights. For example, international organizations, NGOs, and other civil society organizations. So the handbook is divided in 5 main areas. The first one is called frameworks, dealing with legislative, policy and regulatory frameworks, where we try to look at the existing laws, the existing policies and the existing regulations that are in place, and which incorporate human rights considerations. This is the first one. The second one deals with financing and budgeting, because as you know, according to human rights, the rights to water and sanitation have to be realized to the maximum of available resources, and hence the development of financing strategies and budgets for water and sanitation is crucial to realize these rights. So this is what we deal with in this booklet. Then another area is services. To comply, as you know, with water and sanitation rights, the delivery of services requires clear planning processes, institutions with a clear mandate, and of course the necessary financial and human resources. We acknowledge that different settlement types will require different approaches in terms of technology and management, but must still meet the necessary standards of the rights to water and sanitation. The next booklet is about monitoring. Monitoring compliance with these rights is essential not only to understand the extent to which the state has been successful in realizing the right, but also to gather necessary data for future planning and for resource allocation. The next booklet is on access to justice, where we deal with the existing wide range of remedies that is available, from administrative processes such as complaint procedures managed by service providers to quasi-judicial and judicial processes that might even lead to court cases at different levels, national, regional and international levels. We have a booklet dealing with principles, which highlights states' obligations relating to the principles of participation, non-discrimination and equality, access to information and sustainability. So these different booklets are all contain not only guidance on how to implement the rights after each of the different sections inside the booklet, but at the end of each booklet there is a checklist. And then there is an additional booklet which contains all the checklists of the different areas. Of course, writing this handbook, which was a very time-consuming but also very very interesting and passionate process, is only the beginning, I would say, the beginning of the story, because the challenge now is to translate this handbook into practical action, into practical measures, into changes. Hence, the work that can be done by organizations as UNICEF, but others as the Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights, but also WHO at the national level, is crucial to transform this promise of the rights to water and sanitation into reality. And I count on all of you in your daily work, in your daily activities, to integrate and to use this handbook to making sure that any actions being undertaken at the national level in the countries that you are working, that any action promotes the realization of the rights to water and sanitation. Thank you so much for your attention.